All right, Izzy, let's take a look at your paper. MLA format first. This looks good. Everything over here looks good. Why say no to equality? It's not bad. Could be a little more creative with it, but it'll work. So you start off with a quote by Elizabeth Cady Stanton, one of the preeminent feminists. One quick thing, since this is her title, that's the thing that can get lifted out of the sentence. So you need a comma right there at the end. Today, you go in and expand on it. That's good. You have the definition. Now, here's what I'm wondering. Is this a direct quote? Starting right here, the belief that women should have equal rights and opportunities. Is that a direct quote? If so, that should go in direct quotes. And I'm wondering, I'll get down to your works cited page, whether this was really what it should be, because more than likely that's probably going to be in quotes, but we'll look at that. So you talk, the whole paragraph is actually really good, Izzy, about setting up your topic. You get to the point of the paper, and then you talk about why people are opposed to feminism. So maybe a little bit more clear in this, the idea that this is cause and effect. You don't have to say the words cause and effect, but is this the causes of people not liking or the effects of people not understanding feminism, something like that. You need to make sure that that's clear in here. Your thesis statement is really good too, so you're kind of starting off on the right foot with all of this. So you start off with the idea of the confusion behind the definition of feminism, and you use a really good poll in here. You have good support, and you have a really good first paragraph, body paragraph about this. Here's what we're going to say about this one and about nearly all of your body paragraphs. While structurally it's fine, while there's very few comma errors and everything, it's really lacking a lot of passion, a lot of originality, a lot of, really specific details. It's lacking this really good voice, Izzy, and that's what you're going to have to develop in this class as we keep writing. Is I want to see a really distinct, Izzy voice in here. And part of that, we've talked a little bit about this already, but part of that is word choice. Part of that is using figurative language when you write. Part of that is using unique examples and details. Part of it is playing with syntax and your sentence structure and how that looks. So I really think there's a couple of things, a couple different areas that you can really look at. And I would, in this paragraph especially, maybe talk about some modern male, schema or some modern male concepts, and maybe turn it back on that with a more detailed idea for that. Good transition statement here at the end to this, so that part is good. So it's not a bad way to jump into the next paragraph. One quick grammar suggestion in here. When you have a comma conjunction, you have to make sure that both of these are complete sentences. Frequently rely on uninformed ideas. It's not a complete sentence, so you don't need a comma right there. This is another good paragraph where you can add some uniqueness and detail in here. You do mention Tumblr and Facebook and Twitter, which is fine. But it's not that difficult to find a post by a self-named feminist that brings down others for not supporting their way of thinking. Well, give me an example. What are some of these quotes from some feminists? And you don't have to necessarily look at Tumblr to figure that out. There's plenty of people that don't support the concept of feminism anymore. Or, that do support feminism and cut some people down that don't. So I wouldn't even say you have to go as far as looking at Tumblr, but you'll find something pretty easily in this particular case, Izzy. Which, again, it's just going to add more detail. It's going to add more voice. It's going to add support to your opinion. And, again, nothing wrong with this sentence. You have technically everything on here that you need. Maybe something else I would mention, last paragraph too, your topic sentence. The idea that they're exposed to it, which causes negative opinions. You got to take it a step further. Because they're exposed to it and they have negative opinions about it, what is it doing to people? What is it doing to the movement? What is it creating in this arena that you want to change? And so keep thinking about that, because there's a pretty strong, especially at the end there's a pretty strong persuasiveness to this paper that you want things to change. And that's why I think because if I didn't know better, I would think this is a persuasive paper. So that's why I think in your topic, in the introduction, you need to be very clear what you're going to be talking about. It's okay to have an opinion on it. That part I'm not worried about, but it just makes it a little bit more ambiguous what you're trying to get across. All right, for this one, your actual topic sentence is actually right about here. And actually, in all actuality, I think this is probably closer to your thesis statement. Those who think feminism is no longer needed create an unjust stigma, repelling people from the feminist cause. I think that's actually a really good topic sentence. Now, it's at the end. So, because you spend the majority saying how it has improved, which seems, all this seems very positive, and then you get to the however part. Well, if you're trying to build support that we need to have more feminists, you got to have more than just that backing you up. So you're going to need to add more in here. Like, for instance, as a compare and contrast at least, in 2010, 47% of the workforce made up of women. What was it in, 1910, what was it in 1920 even, 1950 even? So, you can do a little compare and contrast to again, show how far you've come, but you really need to have more support for why we still need it today. All you say is this, and that's it, and there's no follow-up, there's no backing up and talking about it. And you can even play up the idea of the unjust stigma too. I think that might be an intriguing thing to really expand onto. So then you get to your conclusionary statement, paragraphs are, you repeat your thesis statement, you go through all your main points, which is good. And there is one area where I like a little bit. I mean, your voice is much better, and that's the jumble of incorrect beliefs. And you can even add a stronger word there too. But that's the kind of word choice that is going to bring some originality to your piece. So words like that, and just to play with that a little bit more. This is where, this is a straight up persuasive concept. So again, it's not bad to have an opinion, Izzy, about the whole thing, but you might want to make sure that it's backed up a little bit as far as your topic goes in the introduction. And I'm not sure this is the strongest way to end your piece. Maybe looking ahead to the future, maybe thinking about your own children and what that might look like in here. Now, this is where we're going to have a problem. Okay, so you have correctly, at least, it looks like, have all of these sources that you looked at. And everything looks exactly like it should be. Here's the problem. This is called a works cited page. That means in your paper you have cited all these sources. If I remember right, I think you only did 3. You have Hill, Cook, and the Foundation. I'm sorry, you have 5. Then you have Feminism, and then you have Stanton, which that page number is wrong, depending on where you got that quote from. Oh, so it should be from Stanton instead of 127. It should be. Oh no, I'm sorry. You are wrong. I'm wrong. I'm so sorry. You are right with that. So just the page number. That's right. But I don't see this in the text. 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 So you said you cited them, but you really didn't cite them. So where did this information go into the paper? So you have to have in-text citation, just like you had up here with the Hill and the Cook and whatever. You got to have that for every single person that you put in here. That's why it's called a works cited page. That's the things you're citing in the case. And then back to the definition of feminism, that quote should have, or that in the parentheses should have quotes around it too, to be correct. So a couple of things in there that you're obviously going to want to add in as well, depending on where those things went in here. So not a bad paper, Izzy, overall. Like I said, we're just going to work on really strongly working on voice and making sure that we have a real strong original author's voice in your particular piece. So good luck. Maybe we'll see a rewrite out of you soon.